This is a brief rundown on how to customize these fields to fit your needs for data input and also what they can be called. So for starters, I'm going to fill in the electronic identification number with this dummy number by clicking here. And we're going to go into our headings to customize the rest of our fields. So I'll go down here to Tools and select Headings. And here we have our fields names on the left and the field settings on the right. And we're going to only be using these three. So I'm going to be getting rid of these. It's as a customizable feature. You can click in there, delete the name, and if you hit accept, I'll show you that now field 3 is gone. So if you don't have a need for a field, go ahead and delete its name, and that will get rid of it for you. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'm double clicking in there to get rid of the whole name. And 7 is covered up by the keyboard, so I'll just have to leave my cursor there and then hit delete. Now for Visual ID, there's a handy thing called Big Input where we can, I'll show you what that does. If I hit accept and then accept down here, I come back to the data input screen. Now for our Visual ID, we click in here. If it doesn't come up, click in a field and then back in there. And it should bring up this screen right here that we're looking at. Here we have our colors for our tags and our number for our tags. And this is a great deal easier to use with the stylist with these big numbers. So for example, I'm going to use red, and that makes this little RD dash prefix. And this works with all the colors. You get the little 2 letters and the little dash for the prefix. I'm going to stick with red, and I'm going to say the tag said it was 1, 2, 3. That's the number of the animal. So that made that a little easier to put in. And so that's what Big List does for you. And in here I'm going to go to select headings, and for field 1 I'm going to delete that name, and I'm going to put the owner of the animal. Say I was working for someone else and they really owned the cattle I was working for. Now I can't put owners if I'm working for multiple ones because field 1 only allows for 5 characters to be put in for a name. So I'm going to leave it with owner. So remember when you're working with field 1 to include a short name. So I'm going to go into owners, owner 1, and I'm not going to use big input, but I'm going to go into this text box right here and create a drop down list to select from so that we can list all the people that we work for. And I'm going to say the first guy's name is Jeff. And click this add button right here. That puts his name right down there, gives me a blank text box. And I'm going to keep typing and say the next owner is Bob. Click add. Now say I made a mistake and I was typing in Nate. And I hit add and I say, oh wait, I don't work for Nate anymore. That's okay. You just click right in here on his name and then select remove. That gets him out of your list. You can have really long lists. There's all this space to create a list. But for right now, we're just going to keep the 2. And I'm going to show you what that does. Click accept in this settings, and then we're going to select our headers for right now. Notice that the name is changed right here to owner. And instead of typing that out every time, I can just select Jeff or Bob from this list by clicking this little arrow and then clicking on the name. So that comes in handy. And now for field 2, we go back into our select headings. And you don't have to come out of select headings every single time. I'm just popping out to show you what each feature does. So in field 2, I'm going to delete field 2, and here it only allows for 4 characters, 4 letters. If we wanted the gender of the animal, we couldn't spell out gender because it stops at the D, because that's our 4th letter. So keep field 2 short in name. I'm just going to call it sex if we want the gender of the animal. And then we're going to go into the settings, and we're going to do what we did before and create a list. Say we were calving, we want to have steer, add that to our list, and we want heifer, add that to our list. And for this, we're going to check clear on save, and I'm going to show you what that does. I'm going to accept that here, and I'm also going to go into Visual ID and click clear on save, because that's just a good place to have clear on save for your Visual ID, and you'll see why here in a second. I'm going to click accept, and then say that the red 1, 2, 3 is a steer, and that's easily selected by our drop-down list, and say OK. For this example, we'll say this is all the information we're going to need, so we're going to click down here on Save Data. Notice that our counter went up. We now have 2 animals saved, and but these 3 fields cleared with the information. This one did not. EID is set to default to clear on save, but Visual ID and our second customizable field is not. So we check those options for clear on save. So this would be a good example of when you are working for one owner all day but with different animals. So you wouldn't have to change the owner, and you could scan the animal and put in a new tag, say red 42, and accept. Then this one is a heifer. See, that was very quick. We didn't have to type it up at all, and we didn't even need to worry about our owner field because we know we're working with him all day. So we're going to just click save, and again these 3 fields clear and they're ready for the next animal, and our counter went up. So that's a few of the options that the select headings option gives us. We could go into that more in a little bit, but for now, thanks for watching. If you need help, check out our website, this website here, and or if you need help, you can call our customer support line. Thanks for watching.